my own soul, my own self, how to become the highest version of my own self, whatever that may be. And we eventually will come to the realization that everybody's soul journey is their own soul journey, but we are on our way to learning the same higher purpose of love and truth. And truth is the truth of what's inside your heart, the truth of your divinity, the truth of not what everybody else says, the truth of yourself and what feels good and what feels right for you. We are all still unraveling. We are all still going through a lot of dark ages in order to come to our bright light. But once we get there, we're going to appreciate that light so much because of everything we went through. And we're going to appreciate ourselves so much for holding on to that light. Everything that you go through, the harder it is, the more you're going to appreciate yourself for coming out of it. And that is ascension. It's an unraveling process. It's not all perfect. It's moments of dread. It's moments of happiness. It's moments of chaos. It's moments of peace. But when you come to the next step of your realization, usually it's after a huge downfall. And you come to like this inner stillness. And I know I heard it spoke a lot. I'm sure you've heard people speak of this a lot, including the Buddha and everybody that we watch on our channels. But it's really something that you must experience yourself. And it's really something that must come from a lot of personal turmoil and a lot of outer turmoil and intimidation and personal intimidation. And it's got to come out of those dark ages, because once you start to come out and you're still not fully out, you're still not fully ascended, you find that peace within yourself where you're just allowing things to be. Because you know you might step in the wrong path tomorrow and you might hit one of those rocks in the water, and it might hurt, it might sting, but ultimately you know that you're going to come back to your center and you're going to come back to yourself. So the best thing we can do is just hold peace inside of us while we're going through this. And it's not something that can be forced. It's something that just happens after you experience many tribulations. You kind of in a way surrender, but you're surrendering to the process. You're not surrendering as of like a giving up surrendering. You surrender to the process, and you believe in the process so much that those times of trials and tribulations, you know you're working for a better purpose, and you can just allow them to happen. And I've become a completely different version of myself throughout this ascension process. I have seen very many demons, in zombies in this world, and in myself. And I have seen much pain, as we all have. But once this ascension started speeding up for me, and I started getting more and more of this pain and turmoil, eventually I just surrender. I surrender to the process. And this calm, this wave of calm just came over me. And I am a completely different person, but the same person on the inside. I kept my heart. I kept my ambition. I kept my motivation somewhat, even though it dwindled a lot. I kept on holding on to it. I kept my love for the creatures in my world and around me, and I kept my faith. And that's pretty much what I hold on to now. That's what I grasp onto. I don't get too overly excited anymore, and I don't get too overly depressed anymore. It's just a calm inner feeling. Even though things outside of my world, on the outside aren't perfect yet, I still have a lot of work to do on that. My inner is coming to completion, and I can feel that. And as far as the collective, asking for a reading. One by one, we are all coming to that divine inner source of ourselves. We're not going through our trials on the same day. However, they are getting closer and closer. So the time frame that I'll be going through some hardships and that you'll be going through some hardships, they're kind of blending together. We're coming through the tunnel right now. We're birthing our new world, and at the end, our timelines are merging closer and closer together. So a lot of the turmoil I experienced maybe a week ago or so, I'm sure a lot of you experienced as well. Hang on to that faith. You'll see it in yourself. I see it in myself when my light starts to turn on. There's a glow to you. And the you before, when you were dealing with your lower levels, there's a little bit of a dullness to you. And you don't look or feel like yourself anymore. Like your beautiful God-given self. More and more beauties, we're going to come into line with our beautiful God-given self. This week is a huge turning point for many, many, many light workers along the same path of my ascension, which is the light beauties who listen to me. The reason you listen to me is because you resonate, because you are on that same wavelength as me. You are going along the same path. So I want you to hold on. If you haven't hit that turmoil yet, if it hits you, let that be a realization to you. Your higher self is calling to you. Get out of this dead zone. We need to wake up more. We need to get through this now. It's time to birth our new world, our new reality. And it's not going to be perfect right away, but hold on to that faith. Next week, I have a feeling things are going to be a lot more beautiful for a lot of us. But I'm asking you one key thing for this week. Hold on to that faith. Hold on to that faith that miracle is in fact coming next week. Because I do believe that our outside existences still might look a little chaotic, a little fraught, a little like unstable, where we don't really know we're not quite there yet. We know we're not quite there yet. We need more structure. We need more foundation. We might need more money in our world. We might need, there might be some needs that are still kind of not being met. It's getting a little better. But I'm asking you, please, my light beauty world, to hold on to your faith. Have faith in your higher self. Ask your higher self to start showing you more and more signs. And instead of picturing what you're going through right now in the moment, picture that outcome, that beautiful outcome that is just at the tip of your tongue, is at the end of the horizon. It's here, it's right here for us all. And we must hold on to the faith right now. It's so very important. And as I talk to you, I'm speaking to myself as well, because I'm going, like I said, I'm going right along with you in this process, but I am allowing my higher self to come in and speak to me so that I may speak to you and let you know that that inner voice, that inner rising of faith, that is real. And please hold on. Please hold on as you go through these tribulations. And if you need to rest, my beauties, rest. Don't care what anybody says. If they say you're lazy, if they want to say whatever, you should be out, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Don't listen to the you shoulds anymore. Unless that you should comes from your heart, from deep within, from your higher self, and you know it does. Don't be listening to the I shoulds, the you shoulds, the nothing like that. All you got to do is focus on that beautiful outcome and have faith in you, in yourself, and what you are worth. It is good to go outside and take walks. It is good to recharge your battery and take naps. It is good to get rid of toxic chemicals. I got that patch on right now on my neck. I'm working on, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm working on getting rid of that nicotine out of my system, you know. Don't have guilt if you're not ready to get rid of it yet, though. It might be a slow process for you. If you feel like you're drinking too much and you know that deep down inside, you'll have that crash. That higher self will crash you down. You will crash and burn. And then you're going to be like, maybe I need to change this. I really need to change this. Not just say I do, but I really need to change this. But the guilt from others around you as this is going on, don't listen to that. Everybody has their issues. Everybody has their problems. Everybody has something they're working through. I don't care if you're the Dalai Lama. I don't care who you are. You have things that you have to work through. You are not perfect. You are human. So those shoulds, you should. Don't listen to that. You're on the right path. You are on the right path because you are watching videos like this about ascension. You are believing in a higher purpose. You're believing in spirit, and you're not giving up. You might, your higher self might need to slap you in the face a few more times. Who knows how many times? It had to slap me quite a few times before I really got what was going on. Which my last lesson was getting rid of. My previous lesson from last week was getting rid of toxins in myself. But first I had to get rid of the toxic people. And those toxic people had to get really toxic in order for me to be like, yeah, what am I doing with these zombies around me? I cannot save them. They have to save themselves. And I walked away from those zombies. And then my insides slapped me in the face and I started getting sick. And all those toxins that I had inside of me were starting to release out in this beautiful rash. It's actually really lightened compared to what it was. It's all over my legs. Ugh, it was awful. But it had to happen because it had to come out and be like, yo, you got to get rid of this. And then I had a few days of pampering in the hospital, and I got treatment and came out like a renewed me, like a lizard who shed its skin. So, you know, you might be in the middle of the toxins right now. And let me tell you, they will get worse until you realize this. They will slap you and slap you and slap you over and over. Does not mean there's something wrong with you. I mean, those toxic people at the end were really slapping me in the face, telling me that there's something wrong with me because I have this channel, the spirituality is so weird, and that I'm dumb, and they were on 10, these beings. But I had to have that happen in order to be like, oh, these people are bad, I'm leaving. and never look back. And finally never look back and end that cycle completely. I mean, the second, once they questioned my channel and my spirituality, that was a big turning point for me. I was like, no, you're not for me. If you're gonna sit there and tell me that my spirituality makes me dumb or a bad person, bye. That's something that's so important to me. So, things like that just had to happen to me in order for me to be like, I need to choose a better way. Get rid of those toxins. Get rid of those toxic people. Get rid of those toxic chemicals in my body. And I don't feel guilty. Here's the key. I don't feel guilty forever hanging out with those people, forever smoking those cigarettes, forever having these toxins in my environment, because sometimes you know not what you do until that higher self slaps you in the face. And nobody's perfect. I don't care who you are. Nobody's perfect. So you can count on help from family and friends. That's great. The ones who are non-toxic to you. But ultimately, count on yourself. Ultimately, your ascension is about coming to this realization with yourself. Your life happening. Your life being created. The life that you are creating has to tell you, not other sources. So hold on to everything beautiful that you've got, my beauties, because things can change in an instant. They really can. But this week, if you're going through the turmoils, homeless, moneyless, jobless, friendless right now, everything, you have to give up so much in order to come to your realizations. So don't fault yourself and hold on to that faith and keep talking to your higher self. Keep picturing your better outcomes that are just upon the horizon, even better than you thought. Keep noticing those signs of beauty. When good things happen, signs will be all around you. When spirit comes in to save you from your own doom, signs will happen all around you. So pay attention to those. And call on my higher self. I mean, if anything else, if you're feeling exhausted and you're not sure what to do, say, hey, Rebecca Merkaba, I know you're out there somewhere rooting me on. Can you come help me? I would like your spirit to come help me, because that's my spirit's job. That's my spirit's path. That's my higher self's journey, is to help people from the higher perspective come in, and I'll guide you from within. I always thought it was to guide people in my 3D world, but I know that in the 3D, you cannot go further until you choose to further yourself. So I was kind of like helping people out here when truly there's no helping them unless they choose to help themselves. So what's beautiful about the help that I do in the other realms, in the higher dimensions, is that my higher self will wait until you call me in, and then I'll come down and I'll be right there for you. And it's gonna help fill my soul too. So please do that. I mean, every time my soul helps an individual, I can feel it, and it helps me. So I still have to live in this 3D body too. We're many different facets of ourselves on many different dimensions. You can call on me for guidance, please. Okay, well, that's my transmission for today. And now that I'm over my illness and feeling somewhat complete, not fully yet, but much more like myself, I'll be able to post even more. And like I said, it's my purpose mainly to help, on the other dimensions. But when you call me in here, I love doing this. I love speaking to you on the channel. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you guys want me to address, as far as ascension, as far as awakening, as far as anything in the 3D. If there's anything I can help you with, if you just want somebody to talk to, let me know. But definitely, kind of, if you could give me advice on how to proceed with my next videos, I would love to hear from you. Not sure exactly what to say sometimes, but if your higher self, has a suggestion for me as to any sort of help we can give other people or you, let me know in the comments what I can do for you. And I wish you the most pleasant ascension journey as you possibly can. And I'm always here to hold your hand and lift you up. Even if I'm not with you in the physical, I'm here. Okay? I love you all, light beauties, and you have a wonderful, beautiful, tremendous day. Namaste.